You're trying to gain as much of an advantage as you can, but this will set you up to have a pretty good idea of what you want to do against each hitter. Level. This is why. Okay, guys, so today I thought we've made a lot of videos about hitting and how to help you guys out hitting, but for the pitchers out there, we haven't been putting out a lot of content. Now, I was a center fielder. I'm not going to act like I'm an expert about pitching, but I do know a few things about how, setting hitters up, how to read hitter swings. I did line up right behind a pitcher, so I got to watch that my entire career. So this is one of the things I noticed that a lot of pitchers don't take advantage of and can really give you an edge. So when we talk about analyzing swings or reading swings, we're talking about, okay, looking at the hitter's swing and making a judgment about it and then attacking different parts of the zone based on the kind of swing the hitter has. Now, really what we're talking about is the VBA of a hitter. Now, VBA, vertical bat angle. Basically, how horizontal or vertical a hitter's bat is as it's going through the zone. Now, most guys are going to be different. Some guys are going to have more of a flat swing. It's important to know how do you attack a guy with a flat swing versus a guy who's got a really vertical path. How do you attack that type of hitter? So we're going to go over left-handed hitters and right-hand hitters, try to help you guys out and figure out exactly how to attack these guys. Now, you are going to face hitters. The higher you go up, the more adjustable guys' paths are going to be. So, you're going to have to fool them a little bit more the higher you go up into the higher levels of college, professional baseball, etc. So this is a very kind of basic strategy you can use, but just I want to caveat with the higher you go, you're still going to be able to use this, but you're going to have to be a little bit more fine-tuned with it. So we'll start out with left-handed hitters. So we're going to go with flat swing, kind of a middle of the road swing, and then a very vertical swing. And I'm just going to show you in the strike zone how you want to attack those guys. So for a left-handed hitter, guy with a really flat swing, and we're going to make this a little bit more simple than it really is in the game, but a flat swing from a left-handed hitter, it's really going to enter the zone like that, right? It's coming flat. You got to think this is a bat going through the zone. It's going flat through the zone. So the areas that this hitter is going to be really good in making solid contact are anywhere middle of the zone and up. He's going to be able to stay on top of that top pitch or top of the zone pitch because he have that flat path. Anything belt high or up, he's going to handle a lot better than a guy with a really vertical swing. So the area you want to attack with the guy with a flat swing is bottom of the zone. And this is kind of why in old school pitching strategy, everyone preached attacking the bottom of the zone. Because most hitters back then had flatter swings. A flat path typically indicates going to make a lot of contact, hit a lot of line drives, maybe not necessarily hit for a bunch of power, but you're going to consistently put the ball in play. And you can't hit for a lot of power with a flat swing. Juan Soto, he's one of the best. His pretty flat swing, hits for a lot of power. But it's usually what really it's a good indicator of is just a guy that's going to make consistent contact. So the reason you attack the bottom of the zone, it's hard to get underneath a baseball with a flatter swing at the bottom of the zone, and you're going to get a lot of ground ball contact, which is going to turn into outs. Now, a guy with, let's say, that kind of middle-of-the-road path that's entering the zone like that, this is the hardest one because this is usually a guy who's going to have a pretty adjustable path, meaning he can flatten it out a little bit. He can make it a little bit more vertical to get that lower pitch. But this guy, you're going to have to look at, okay, does he have plate coverage on the outside? I promise you guys, if you're watching the hitter swing, you'll watch him swing at pitches, and sometimes you'll be able to tell from the pitcher's mound, man, his bat can't even cover the outer third of the plate. There's no way. So a guy like this, typically the best places to attack are kind of up and away, down and in. See if he can get to that down and in fastball, but you're trying to stay away from this part of the strike zone. Again, this is really the hardest bat path to match up against as far as strategy on where to throw pitches. Now, a guy with a really vertical swing, and obviously this is exaggerated. Again, it's exaggerated. It's going to be the opposite of the flat path. He's going to dominate the bottom of the zone. he's going to have a really good chance of getting down underneath that pitch and still be able to drive it for damage. So you want to pepper the top of the zone. Now, this is what you see a lot in the big leagues and at upper levels of college baseball, because for a long time, there was a little bit of a revolution in hitting where you were going from more of a flatter path to a more vertical path. Now, a vertical path, again, not for everybody, but it can lead to a little bit more swing and miss. And one of the reasons why you're seeing a lot more strikeouts in the game now is because guys have gone to more vertical path. Again, we're simplifying this. Doesn't mean everybody with a vertical path is striking out a bunch, but it does not tend to indicate as much contact as a flat path. So with a left-handed hitter, we're going to want to go top of the zone with that with that vertical path. So as a pitcher, again, with the right-handed hitter, it's going to be the same thing, right? Flat path, we're going to attack the bottom of the zone. Kind of really elite path, which is kind of in between both of them. You got to figure out where his holes are, and then a vertical path again. We're going to attack the top of the zone. So, guys, really important that when you're pitching, ask the center fielder or ask the shortstop or second base, hey, can you watch the guy swing past? Well, if you don't feel like you can make that observation, ask your teammates to help you out. You're trying to gain as much of an advantage as you can, but this will set you up to have a pretty good idea of what you want to do against each hitter. So basically, when you're throwing those pitches, or maybe you're watching BP pregame in college, try to figure out, hey, has this guy got a pretty flat path, or does it look like it's more vertical? Your coaches will be watching that. In high school, maybe if you get to see him take BP before the game. If not, this has to be an in-game pickup. You have to be watching consistently if you're coming out of the pen, or if you're the starting pitcher, that first time through the lineup, notice what they're doing. Notice what kind of swings they have. Again, you are going to have hitters, the higher you go up, that have really adjustable paths. And so they're not just a one-path type guy. That's really something you see in high school. And even some good hitters in college are one-path guys, but the pitching is not good enough to kind of consistently stay where their holes are. So this will set you up pretty well in identifying, okay, is this guy got a pretty flat swing? I want to go to the bottom of the zone. Is this guy a pretty vertical swing? I want to go to the top of the zone. Again, there's a lot more to look at besides just this, but this will set you up to understand, obviously vertical path, breaking balls at the bottom of the zone, he's gonna handle that. Again, we want to stay top of the zone. Flat path, generally maybe a little bit harder to handle those breaking balls bottom of the zone, fastballs bottom of the zone. So make the observation and figure out how you're going to attack them accordingly. I hope that you guys like this. Again, go to our website, elitesportsadvising.com, if you guys are looking for help in the recruiting process. We don't just help our clients with stuff like this, but we also help make connections with schools, help them get in touch and get conversations started where eventually offers can be made. And go to our front page, fill out the eval request. We'll reach out to you right away, meet with you, discuss what we think about you, evaluate you, and then we can move on from there. Appreciate you guys watching these videos, and stay tuned. We're going to have more coming.